Hi, it's me again, filming at my lunch hour. I have had two conversations with my husband that were kind of odd and made me think about appearance and how do we see ourselves and what kind of pressures I feel personally, and I think that you may feel them too, about how we should look. First discussion was about this application that we received. There was this picture of a lady, and she was applying for this kind of very science-based job. And my husband just glanced at the picture and said, "We don't have anything for marketing." I looked at him and said that she's not applying for marketing, she's applying for this science job. But he was just like, "Pfft." Well, what was wrong? The lady was very well made up. She was very beautiful, very young, uh, and she had very much makeup on her face, and false lashes, and probably filled lips, and you know the drill. So if you take all of that off, I can assume that I do not recognize that that is the same person. With that amount of makeup, I would be happy for a year. But I tried to explain to my husband that she is not a bad person and she may not be incompetent just by looking like that. She just maybe has a little bit something to tweak on her appearance when she goes to out with the friends, when she applies for a job, when she wants to be taken seriously. That's the main thing, maybe, to be taken seriously. But so I explained to him that there are, for example, if you look at the YouTube videos and the ladies that show you how to put on makeup, and especially the young ladies, they have very, very much makeup on. And they try to sculpt their face and add blush and add shine and take like away all the imperfections of their personality, of their face. And if you do that, you end up looking like somebody else. And you end up looking too perfect. And if world would be perfect, nobody would care. You could look however you wish, and everybody would take you seriously just by what you say and what you write. But unfortunately, that is not so, even still. And people are people. So if you look like your focus in your life is your career, if you feel that your focus in your life is this science thing, then you should look accordingly when you apply for a job. But that's just one thing. But I think that that tells us how differently people see their appearance. So this young lady obviously thought that she needed all that to feel confident and to be herself. But I hope I would be able to tell her that if you send an application to real grown-ups, then if you want to have the position and if you want to be taken seriously as a professional, you have to tune down. You have to look natural. You have to look easy to talk to. But then, of course, there was this other discussion, and there my husband told he has been in campus or this place, and he said that people look really frumpy there. They're just like old jeans or joggers, and they hadn't washed their hair for a week, or at least it seems so. And that's the opposite end of the spectrum. So here is this girl who wants a job and looks like a model, and there is these guys in the campus that are real expert, or they are there to learn to be. and they look like yesterday's news. But this, they both are here like at the same time. But where does that leave us, like ordinary people? If I look frumpy, like I have when my children were small, I looked, I can't say hideous, but I remember looking at myself from the reflection of a window, and I thought that I look like have an alcohol problem. That I look like alcoholic, and I'm pushing a troll with my kids in it. So it wasn't a good place to be. But I didn't wear makeup. I didn't wear nail polish. I washed my hair when I had the time. I was simply very, very tired all the time for a few years. And I don't want to look like that anymore. I don't. I don't want people to think that I have some serious issues if I look like that. And of course, when I'm at work, that's a different thing, a whole different thing, and that's different for all of us. But when I look at the same time, when I look at videos from ladies of my age that are showing how to do makeup and what's in and what's out and what's pretty and what's not, I feel that they are overly made up. And I don't want to look like that. I know that it's different in studio lighting. If you put on something on your face and then you go outside to the natural light, you look very, very different. Somebody might be scared to see you outside. But I guess that's their problem. But I have a feeling that I should make more effort to be normal. And that's the thing that bugs me. Like, I am not the frumpy type, and I am not the overly made up type. But I feel that to be like pretty in my age, I should do more. I should try more. I should cover the imperfections of my face. But when I do that, I have tried sometimes, of course, especially if there is some sort of party or something, I have tried to make an effort. But in the end, I feel that I just look more tired, more old, and it's not pretty. And if something happens, then it's a mess. But there are these expectations of how we look. And of course, there are expectations that we set to ourselves, and there are expectations that we feel that others like pour to us. And to me, and to most people, that is work. So when I'm working, I have to look professional. I'm a lawyer entrepreneur, so I cannot muck it up. I cannot look how I wish. Of course, somebody would say that you are your own boss, so you can wear whatever at your office. Well, I do now. I have this wool jumper on because it's cold. It's very cold again. But when somebody comes here, when somebody makes an appointment, I make sure that I am neat and I have my hair pulled up and I have like good clothes on me, proper clothes. And that's something that actually in my profession, men and women have very different standards. I know that there are many men who wear suits every day, and then there are those who don't, who are the frumpy type. But the frumpy type is usually thought that they are very, very good. They are extreme experts because they don't have to wear a suit. And of course, women wear like walking shoe. What is that? A blazer and a skirt or pants. But I don't want to. I don't like blazers at all. I use cardigans. That's more my style, and that's comfortable. And to be honest, I don't have very many clothes because I don't love buying clothes. And but I have to think that when somebody is coming, that I don't wear the same clothes that I wore last time, because that would be again an awkward. It would tell them that I don't have very many outfits to take in customers with. But I don't want to. I don't want to waste my money on that. Like buying clothes that I don't wear except for work, except for when somebody comes in here to my office to meet me. But we were talking about appearance and how we look and how we feel that we should look. I know that these makeup problems are mainly for women. Of course, some men wear makeup too. And of course, there is this kind of a historical aspect of this, or it's not so historical. When I was small, then in a town that I grew up, women usually didn't wear makeup at all. Teachers didn't wear makeup at all. I think that that was not allowed. I told this to my husband one day, and he said, "Oh, have they banned it?" I don't think that there was a straight ban, but they were led to understand that that is not suitable. But I grew up in a quite religious town, in a small town, so it doesn't represent the larger picture of these. But still, it was 80s, 90s, 80s I was small. Women didn't wear makeup except for the parties or something like that, or few had makeup. But for example, there was this kind of like foundation wasn't, I don't know, was it even invented? I think it was, but it wasn't sold anywhere. Or concealer, it wasn't sold anywhere. Or bronzer, which was, I think, invented much later. Or they might have been invented, but they were not very largely used. But those are these kind of nitty-gritty details. But people didn't wear makeup, and they didn't feel any less because they didn't. And that's something that is maybe like missing nowadays, and especially very young people. This I'm all over the place now, but I see, because there is a school nearby, I see teenage girls every day going to school, and they, some of them wear very heavy makeup, and to the point that they look ridiculous. That's just the truth. They look ridiculous with these kind of lines in here where they have something that they try to sculpt their faces when their cheeks are like full and plump still. But they have like seen these videos and taken example and then try to recreate that at home, and it's a mess, and nobody tells them it's a mess, and they don't even see it. And that's maybe the oddness of this beauty standard, that usually people start to see at some point that this is just not right. This is not very pretty, actually. But I'm waiting for the moment that somebody says that it's better to not do that much. But how do we see ourselves? And do we give in this kind of pressure on how we should look? That's the question, isn't it? But my question before I jumped off the wagon again was that how do we see ourselves, and how do we respond to these demands, or these kind of impulses, or thoughts that we should try to look better in a scale of somebody else in some video somewhere. But I would start by thinking, How and when do I feel good? What's enough for me, or what is required that I feel good? And I don't try, and I don't think that you should try to look like they look in those videos or pictures. It's okay, I'm 51. I have wrinkles, yeah, at least when I smile, and I have my jaw and everything, and that's okay. This is just me. And I feel more comfortable when I accept the fact that my face is getting older than if I not. Yes, do I do something about it, or do I try to put lotion to my face and that kind of things? Of course, why not? But it doesn't mean that I can't feel good about the way I look right now. And if somebody like wants to put on false lashes, but I don't have to. I have my lashes, I have my eyes, I have the good features in my face, and I have the ones that I do not like. But this is the face that I have. So why should I waste any time on thinking that it's not the best face that I have? And that's maybe the question. Don't think that, or don't go into that rabbit hole that what would you change? Just think about what is beautiful in your face. I haven't met a person who doesn't have a beautiful feature in their face. If you have beautiful eyes, if you don't, if you have beautiful like cheekbones, if you have beautiful lips, if you have a beautiful smile. And that is actually on my experience, the one thing that matters the most. If you smile, everybody thinks that you are beautiful. If you are frumpy, and if you look mad or sad or annoyed, people don't like you, or they don't find you attractive. But this is something that we have to think about time to time. If you don't have to think about your appearance at all, you're lucky. You don't have that kind of thing in your head, or that kind of insecurity that how do I look now and how do I look then? That's a real gift. But I have thought to myself always that I am beautiful, and it doesn't matter what people say. I was bullied when I was small, when I was my first school years, because they said I was too fat, but I actually wasn't fat, but it was just a way to bully. They just wanted to bully somebody about something, or everybody about something, so they made it up. But I still thought that I'm going to be beautiful because I have big blue eyes, and I have better lips than my mom and my sister. But still I know that somebody would find a lot of places to correct in my face. And people who make that kind of corrections, now I actually remember yet again another story about our eldest. She has been at work for some time now and has friends. And it's now like this kind of a fashion between or among her friends that they start to fix their faces. And they are under 30 years old, so they put the filler in their lips and Botox in their so-called crow's feet. They don't even have wrinkles. They have this kind of a youth, this plumpness in their cheeks still, and they start to use quite heavy methods to be more beautiful. And that's I don't know, that's like unbelievable. I hope that my children do not do that, or think so little about themselves that they have to try to start to correct their appearance before they even have wrinkles or before they have even matured to be like adults. And my daughter sometimes said to me that should I do something too? Should I try to prevent wrinkles? And I told her that everything is fine now. There isn't a wrinkle inside, or if there is something in the forehead or something in here, that's okay. But live now a life of a young person. And if you need to worry about the wrinkles, then worry about it like 10 or 20 years from now, when you actually have something to worry about. And do not like expose yourself to that kind of chemicals and procedures that might backfire big time when you grow older, like 20 or 20 years. We don't know. I do not. They have been invented quite a long ago, but still, they haven't been used in a large scale, so you would actually know what they do to you in the long run. There is, of course, all this, like, they just vaporize off, and I don't believe that. I believe when they have been used in a large amount of people in decades, and then we see what's happened. And then, of course, there are always these exceptions that usually it doesn't do anything, but now it does. And that's the one thing that I had this whim that I would take Botox to my forehead to lift my eyebrows. But then I thought it was just a whim. And then I thought that, okay, I'm the one usually that things go wrong, so I do not want to do this. If things go wrong, my face will like change permanently, and it's not worth it. I rather look like I look and be okay with it. And that's the main thing in all of this discussion about appearance. Like, who are you? What's your character? What's your good sides and what's your not so good sides? I'm sorry, I'm coming to flu again. It's your personality that counts. How you look doesn't, really. It makes a difference when you see new people, for example, if they haven't talked to you, but then they just give you like one small glimpse to you. But don't worry how you look. You look perfect for you, and you look perfect for your age. And if you feel a pressure to do something, to look younger, to look more fresh, then think about it a little while. Is the risk really necessary? I hope that everybody would be loved the way they are and the way they look. And it's the more important thing, what's in our heads and what's in our hearts, and not how we look. But this was a small take on this lunch hour about how we look and what are the expectations of our appearance, and what are the, right now, the very heavy end of the spectrum things about being totally made up and cut up and clipped up and being just frumpy, just all over the place. I hope you have a great day and see you soon. Goodbye.